Good morning, everybody. This is going to be quite the stream. A lot of stuff happened in the markets. Today is was it January 27th on the U.S. time,
everybody.
and right now
This is going to be
it's one day over where
quite
I'm
the
at.
stream.
Okay, I got feedback. There we go. Yeah, so it's gonna be quite the episode because a lot has happened in the last 10 or 12 hours, especially with AI and this whole new AI coming out of China. So, there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about here in today's episode. So I'm actually really excited for this one. All right. So without further ado, guys, let's just hop into it and just get straight into it. Let me just put this here and all right, let's go. Okay. So I actually jumped the gun here. Okay, so there was this brand new AI that came out, and it surprised and shocked the entire U.S. market. It definitely surprised all the tech companies. All the tech companies that are dealing with AI, that are integrating AI, that are developing AI. This really surprised the hell out of everybody. Because it came out of China and it came out of left field. I don't think a lot of people were actually looking at this or staying ahead of the game with this. So this came out of left field and just kind of riled the whole U.S. market. Oh, we got Sita in the house. What's up? Hope all's well, man. My day's going good. I just woke up, having my coffee right now, getting this day started, getting this stream started. Oh, Wealthy Life. What's up, man? Yep, jumped on the DeepSeek trend yesterday. Got a nice chunk of views, but by the dip, AI will accelerate even faster. Yep, hell yeah. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely, that's true. AI is definitely going to accelerate faster. But yeah, in this video, we're gonna kind of, or this stream, we're gonna kind of dive, a little deep into some of the costs that I came across, which is actually alarmingly surprising. So let's get into it. So again, what is DeepSeek? It's an AI similar to like a Chat GPT or Gemini or even Meta platforms, whatever they call their AI. So this learning module, I guess, or whatever it is, this thing apparently was developed much quicker than ChatGPT at a substantially lower cost. So the barrier to entries now are easy, right? Well, relatively speaking, they're easy. So let's get into this. What's up, Jay Rockwell? All right, so DeepSeek is a Chinese AI research lab founded in 2023. DeepSeek gained global attention after it released an open source AI model, DeepSeek R1, last week, rivaling industry giants like Microsoft. OpenAI has already presented visible challenges to the costlier American models and have spent billions of dollars on the technology. Okay, I want you guys to keep an eye on this. Billions of dollars on the technology. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Right here. How does DeepSeek's latest model compare to OpenAI, ChatGPT, and Meta? Well, DeepSeek R1 matches OpenAI's GPT-01 in math, coding, and reasoning benchmarks with costing 95% less. Okay, 95% less. This affordability can democratize access to locally run cutting-edge AI. Unlike most frontier models, DeepSeek's R1 is open source for reuse under an MIT license, allowing researchers to study, modify, and expand the model. All right. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy that DeepSeek came out of left field at 95% less than what other major companies have been putting into this. Okay, so real quick, let's just go down here a little bit more. Yeah, so this development comes as OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman appeared with U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House last week to officially announce the Stargate project, a $500 billion four-year initiative to build out the AI infrastructure. And we can take a look here, and this was OpenAI / ChatGPT announcing the Stargate project. Basically, they're talking about $500 billion over the next couple of years. They're going to be doing this in collaboration with Oracle. They're going to be doing this in collaboration with SoftBanks and MGX. I'm not sure who MGX is. I didn't have time to actually take a look at them. But yes, MGX. All right. ARM, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Oracle, and OpenAI are the key initial technology partners. So this is interesting right here. And the reason why this is interesting is because these could be companies that you could be investing into, right? If you want to take advantage of the whole AI play, right? If you want to take in that thesis that over these next couple of years, over these probably the next decade, really, AI is going to explode, and you're definitely going to want to put your money where it matters, where it could potentially see, huge profits, huge gains, huge growth, right? So Microsoft, NVIDIA, Oracle. But again, with the whole advent of DeepSeek, I think this is one, it's presenting an opportunity to buy, but two, it's also scaring the living hell out of all the AI players in the US markets. All right, so let's take a look at DeepSeek. So DeepSeek is nothing more than just, a standard run of the mill, basically a ChatGPT. I won't call it a clone because it's rivaling ChatGPT. So it's definitely not a clone. Usually Chinese companies, they have this thing where they just copy US companies. Like you can see this in China all over the place. They just copy American innovation, right? Because of one thing, as good and large as China's economy is, they lack a lot of innovation that the United States has. So, that's the one thing that the United States just has complete control over is innovation. They like as the American economy, the capitalist, market system, it breeds innovation, whereas in China, not so much. So, but DeepSeek, the thing that makes this completely different is that this was done at a substantially lower cost than what the US market has done. All right. So again, you can actually go to deepseek.com and purchase this. I'm actually considering giving it a trial. I think it's free. But it being a Chinese company, I'm always kind of weary whenever it comes to that stuff because, they're like, not to turn this into like a whole geopolitical thing, but, China and the US, they're starting to really edge closer and closer to, trade wars, things like that. So I don't want to just put all my money into DeepSeek. But yeah, I might take a look at this, but yeah, it's basically a ChatGPT clone or not a clone, but something very similar. They have a desktop app, which is kind of nice. I think I might actually try it out. And this is just all their other stuff. It's free to use right now, just like ChatGPT was for a while. So I don't know when they will slap on a pricing model. Down here, they have API pricing models. So this is if you're going to be developing with a DeepSeek. So we'll see how this goes. Definitely keeping an eye on this. So let's see. Just taking a look at the chat here. Jay Rockwell, hey brother, welcome. Oh, okay. Oh, Jamie, all right. What's up, man? Hope everything's all well on your side. Yeah, they don't sell any chips. Yeah, that's DeepSeek drop seems like a saber rattling in the AI world. I don't think it's saber rattling. I really don't. I think it's like a real innovation, and it might be a big challenge to US's AI dominance. Wealthy Life says, I hope AMD drops. I'll be buying more. Which ones are the ones we pick, right? Which stocks are we pick? Where are we putting our money, boys, ladies and gentlemen? Where are we putting our money? That's what matters. G bro, hey, welcome. Okay, let's see. What's up, Iowa? Yep, welcome, Iowa. Let's see what else we got here. Jeff Welch, they're using the H1000 or H100 chips, but they can't say because it's against the chip restrictions. Yeah, that's another thing. If you want to like, and I like the way this thinking goes, but if you want to take advantage of the AI thesis of the AI play over this next decade or this next 4 years, work backwards. So you have the AI company, let's call it Microsoft, right? Let's say it's Microsoft. Let's just use them. So you have Microsoft, they're developing, their AI. You have Google developing their AI Gemini, right? If you go a layer down, it's like, okay, so what do they need? Well, they're going to need data centers, right? So you can look for a data center play too, right? One of the more popular ones out there is Equinix, right? If you want to go a step further down, look at the hardware. All right, who provides the hardware? Well, you look at companies like NVIDIA. You look at companies like AMD. I would have said Intel back in the day, but Intel's probably going to be going away soon. I don't know. They're probably going to be going away soon with all those government contracts. I don't know how they're losing money, But anyways, they may be going away. But you can look for another manufacturer out there that might, have some type of thing to do with AI, or some type of partnership with the chip manufacturers. And one of the more popular ones that made waves not too long ago was SMCI Supermicro. But again, if you look at their stock price, they had a lot of negative news press not too long ago. There was that bear thesis that came out from I can't remember their names. Anyways, there was this bear thesis that came out. Hindenburg Research published a paper against Supermicro, saying that they were fudging the numbers, they were cooking the books, and then Ernst & Young, a prominent financial company, ended up leaving SMCI Supermicro, and that just caused their stock price to go down, right? And then they got kicked off the NASDAQ 100 and replaced with, I think, Palantir. So it's not looking good for SMCI. But, Supermicro has been around for a very long time. Their hardware is really pretty good. So could they, have a place in this whole AI play, this whole AI thesis? Absolutely. Absolutely. I just don't know to what extent. And I don't know if I'd put my money in there, but, again, something to think about. And then you go, a little step down. You can look at semiconductor companies. There's Taiwan Semiconductor Company, TSMC, I think. But yeah, you can go down the route and go down the rabbit hole to find out, who's manufacturing the hardware, who's providing the chips, and then, you work up all the way to the software, right? So that's just one way you can kind of think about this. This is one way you can look at this. Awesome. All right, let's keep it going. All right. So on the open, NASDAQ plunged 2%. That's huge. All right, guys. I know this doesn't look like a high number, but whenever an index goes down more than 2%, you can probably bet that the big stocks that make up that composite, that make up that index, are probably dropping like between 7 and 10%, if I had to guess, right? They're like all of them, like all the big ones are dropping 7 and 10%. If you want to know who the big players are, I mean, look at FANG stocks, Facebook. I mean, it's called the Magnificent Seven now, but basically FANG. So you have Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google, now Nvidia, and now Tesla. So that's the Magnificent Seven. But yeah, anyways, NASDAQ plunges 2%. S&P and Dow also fall as DeepSeek panic slams AI names, right? So if we scroll down just a little bit, major averages tumbled on Monday as concerns about the AI rally ramped up in the face of buzz about China's AI startup DeepSeek, okay? Sparking a risk-off move. What else we got here? There was something else here. Well, in positive news for the real estate market, the 10-year treasury went down. So I woke up actually to, a healthy jump in the REIT sector, which I know that we're not talking about REITs right now, but, for me, this was a nice welcome surprise because, when this spike was happening back here, back in, December, January, like REITs sold off so bad. So it was nice that, we're getting some reprieve from that. Anyways, moving on. DeepSeek freakout is a golden buying opportunity for tech stocks from analysts. All right. This is written by Chris Siassi, I'm going to guess. Siassia. But anyways, is it a golden buying opportunity? That is a great question. I would probably err on the side that, yes, this is a prime opportunity to buy. All right. The tech sell-off caused by the release of China's DeepSeek R1 large language model and subsequent concerns over the cost of competing models from U.S. companies is likely to be a golden buying opportunity for investors. All right. And they're just talking about shares plunging. This is what's crazy right here. This is what's really, really crazy. While the model is impressive and it will have a ripple effect, the reality is Magnificent Seven and U.S. tech is focused on the artificial general intelligence endgame with all the infrastructure and ecosystems that China and especially DeepSeek cannot come close to in our view. Okay, so this is why, yes, China came out with a new AI. Yes, they've done it substantially cheaper than what our, the U.S. companies have put into it, but they don't have the infrastructure. But I don't think that should be taken as fact. All right, China does have they do have a way of just getting their infrastructure up to par fairly quickly. I mean, you can look at their ghost cities. You can look at some of the products that have come out. Like, yes, China in terms of innovation is not as innovative as the American economy, but that should not discount the fact that they cannot, innovate themselves, that they cannot bring up their infrastructure fast. All right. I think that would be foolhardy to just discount that altogether. All right. I'm not saying invest in Chinese markets, but I'm just saying like this could be a threat to US AI dominance. Okay. And it's just a risk. It's a risk is how you want to look at it. Let's see what else. Yes. So DeepSeek's released its free open source large language model pack R1 in late December and claimed it was developed in 2 months at a cost of under $6 million. Okay, this is what I want us to look at right here. However, a look at the research indicates that the aforementioned cost only includes the official training of DeepSeek's V3 and excludes costs associated with prior research and ablation experiments on architectures, algorithms, and data. All right, so how much are we spending? How much does it cost to make an AI, right? From scratch, I guess. Okay, so there's an article by Forbes. This was published not too long ago from Katharina Buchholz. And basically both systems, referring to, ChatGPT, both systems have been much more expensive to train than previous AI models, and their development has potentially cost hundreds of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions, okay? Hundreds of millions of dollars, according to the Epoch AI release. The cost of training Gemini, yeah, they're talking about ChatGPT and then Gemini, which is owned by Google, right? Which is a large language model that can be inputted with text, voice commands, and images, reportedly stood between $30 and $191 million. Even before, even before taking staff salaries into consideration, according to Epoch AI. These can make up 29% to 49% of the final price. ChatGPT's latest edition had a technical creation of $41 million to $78 million, according to the source. Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, has in the past said that the model has cost more than $100 million, confirming the calculations. And I couldn't find the article, but I know Sam Altman / OpenAI, they were requesting, or they were doing like another round of capital raising. And I think they were like trying to reach like I think like a couple $1 billion. Don't quote me on that number, but I think it was way up there. So, like they're really dropping money into this thing. And I think that's where it came from. The SoftBank, the collaboration with NVIDIA and Oracle, and SoftBank's commitment to $500 billion. I think that's really where it came from was, Sam Altman, ChatGPT, OpenAI, they were looking to raise funds. And, with the incoming president, or the now president, he did a deal. I'm sure some of you guys have seen the clips, but he was doing a video with the SoftBank CEO, I think. And basically, at first it was promised 100 billion. Then Trump was like, oh, well, how about 200 billion? And then, the CEO went back to Korea, and then he came back and he was like, you know what, we'll do 500 billion. So again, that is a lot of money coming into the United States for this AI, right? The thesis is looking strong. All right, is my point in this. And we can see right here, Gemini cost, over 151 million. You're almost close to 200 million. ChatGPT, a little under 100 million. That's crazy. Like, that's just crazy, right? Almost deleted that one. AI spending is to exceed $250 billion next year, right? And this this was published last year, November 14, 2024 by Beth Kindig. But big tech's AI spending continues to accelerate at a blistering pace, with the four giants, well on track to spend upwards of $250 billion, predominantly towards AI infrastructure. All right, when we're talking about AI infrastructure, we're talking data centers, we're talking the hardware, we're talking the chips, all right? We're talking that stuff. Probably the cabling and all that other stuff that goes into it as well. So they're looking at that infrastructure along with probably building out the actual software itself. Okay. AI CapEx, capital expenditures, basically the costs of building these things. Big tech's AI field capital expenditures serve as a barometer for the broader AI industry, as Microsoft, Meta, Alphabet / Google, Amazon are among the first to recognize multi-billion-dollar revenue streams from AI and generative AI offerings. The four are also leading the charge by pouring billions each quarter towards AI infrastructure, signaling that they are still attempting to catch up to AI demand and invest more aggressively in AI come 2025. Man, this is crazy. Like, this is really, really crazy. The whole AI thesis is looking really good, really strong. And again, if you want to take advantage, if you want to invest in AI, I'm sure there's a couple ETFs out there. I know Global X has a few. I know, for you high income, risk takers, there's also some covered calls ETFs that just came out. One from YieldMax, I think it's called GPTY. That one might be worth looking into. Of course, you have the old ARK Innovation funds. I haven't looked at those in a long time, but yeah, AI is looking like it's going to be the thing for the next couple of years. So if you want to take advantage of that, if you want to get in on that, you can always look at that. Of course, I would always recommend, if you're going to do anything with ETFs, look at the expense ratios, make sure you look at the holdings, and definitely, all right, probably better to go with that because you're getting diversification over picking individual stocks. All right, so just my little, by the way, this is not financial advice. All right, this is just me, some guy, random guy on YouTube. I'm not a CPA or a financial advisor, etc. All right, so anyways, that is that, right? Let's take a look at the chat, see what's going on in here. I see you guys posting a ton of stuff. So we see, yep, Jeff Welch is buying the dip. Yeah, we're going into like an AI war. Like, this is going to be an AI war between China and the United States. Like, it's going to be, who's going to be the dominant player. And I mean, we all know this. It's going to be the U.S. economy, period, right? Let's see what else we got. Yeah, SMCI is super volatile. I wouldn't touch it. Yep. NVIDIA had the largest market cap loss in history today. Yeah, they had a huge sell-off, which we'll cover here in just a moment. Yeah, I got NVIDIA at 775 pre-split. Awesome. AI and all video cameras and video. Like, it's crazy. Like, AI is being used in everything. Like, almost like it was almost a quick adoption, in my opinion. Like, it's used for everyday life. Like, you can get, just to bring it down real fast, right? Just to bring it way down. You don't even almost have to hire a nutrition coach anymore, right? You can just go on ChatGPT and say, build me out a nutrition plan, right? You could even say, build me out an investment plan. There you go. You could say, help me do X, Y, Z. And ChatGPT will spit out a lot of stuff. AI will spit out a lot of stuff. Back in the day, you used to have to pay for stock images, which was like it was basically thievery, in my opinion. But yeah, they would charge you some obscene amount of money just for stock images. Now with AI, they can pump out these images like super quick. And the market was so quick to adopt it. You had brand new spaces being built. You had brand new industries starting up. Now an agency owner who used to have like 5 or 6 people as staff can now work off maybe 1 or 2 and have a bunch of AI implemented in their business. Like, you don't need a copywriter anymore when you can just have ChatGPT. And if you know how to edit text and read it and all that other stuff, then you don't need a copywriter, right? Don't get me wrong, copywriters are still important. However, even copywriters are now using ChatGPT. They're using AI to do a bulk of the work, a bulk of the footwork, a bulk of the button pushing, a bulk of the research, right? Like, it's making everyday life easier. And then for companies on a much bigger scale, you have, like I just talked about, MicroStrategy, and MicroStrategy has, their AI analytics. They basically can give a company CEO, a company CFO, the C-suite executives these very nice, fancy dashboards so they can see exactly what's going on in their company at any given time. And they can adjust as it's like a live battlefield, right? Like live battlefield. If you guys play, like RTS games, like, I don't know, like the old Command and Conquers, I guess, the old StarCraft, like you get a full scope, a full battlefield picture of what's going on with your company, right? And the same thing for even like Palantir, right? Their whole thing was intelligence, right? This was used by the big alphabet agencies. They use Palantir to basically help them connect the dots, run scenarios, figure out what is likely to happen, what are the outcomes, right? Where these things used to be done by hundreds or thousands of analysts, now they can do it with just a couple. Like, it's ridiculous how fast AI has been adopted and how it's continuing to be adopted, right? Even in, and I don't mean this, again, not to make this political or geopolitical, But even in a certain war zone, they're using AI with their drones, with their drone technologies. Okay, like AI is being used in every aspect of human life. It's quick. So it was a quick adoption, in my opinion. All right. All right. So let's move on to the markets, guys, because this is really what we want to care about. This is really why we're here. Let's talk about the markets just real fast. So we have the NASDAQ. Yeah, that I already spoke about. It dropped 2%, which was kind of crazy, right? And then the 10-year was, which is kind of nice. So we can get rid of that one. So this is a QQQ, right? This is a ETF that follows the NASDAQ 100. NASDAQ 100 is like, I think, 50% tech, if I remember correctly, like 50% tech. But yeah, they had a huge sell-off today, right? Huge sell-off, 2.93%. Like that's a big number. It may not look like a big number, but like I mentioned earlier, you know, when you're thinking about this, you're gonna have huge big companies like the FANG or the Magnificent Seven. They're gonna have huge sell-offs. That's how you get to this, you know, basic like 3%, right? So this was a huge deal. Anyways, we have the S&P 500, which actually didn't fall as much, but it still fell because they still have, I think, 30% exposure to the large tech companies, right? Again, the Magnificent Seven. So if we look at one of the big AI players in the space, Gemini, you know, or Google, which has Gemini, you know, their stock price went down, you know, almost 5% today. Well, 4%, I guess. Microsoft, again, they dropped quite a bit. Well, they dropped and then it looks like they came back up. So yeah, they dropped and then they came back up. And then you have Nvidia, again, same story. Yep, they're down quite a bit too. All right. And then you have Meta. I couldn't pull up Meta on Google, but yeah, we have Meta. It looks like they ended up recovering towards the end of the day. But yeah, I heard Facebook created, like, in order to really they're like, a lot of these tech companies right now, they're playing catch up, or they're I won't say they're panicking, but they're playing catch up, right? Facebook, I saw an article that they created a war room of some sort. You know, they're having all these teams, you know, basically go and look at DeepSeek. They're going to be basically tearing it apart and then seeing what it's really about, right? So I know all the other ones are definitely doing that too. OpenAI for sure, Google for sure, you know, Microsoft for sure. These companies probably have their own, like, you know, war rooms, their own hit teams, and they're basically, you know, bringing all the smartest people that they can to peel apart DeepSeek and see how they can stay ahead of the game, see how they can continue to innovate. Because again, it's alarming that we spent this much money, that these companies have spent this much money on AI, and DeepSeek was able to be basically produced for 95% less of the cost, you know? So again, you know, I saw a comment and it was kind of funny. It's like, well, you know, maybe they can use ChatGPT to, you know, create a newer ChatGPT or create something better than DeepSeek. And I'm like, yeah, you know, you could use the stones to destroy the stones, right? Like, but yeah, anyways. So does this present a buying opportunity for technology companies? I think it does. Of course, you know, again, this is not financial advice, but, you know, if you're looking for an opportunity to get exposure into tech, this would be a great opportunity to get that exposure, right? And let's just take a quick look. Actually, before I even continue on, just going to check the comments real fast, see what everyone's up to. All right. So Far Out says AI will faction into different segments. From what I've seen, I see easily 5 dominant sectors. So 5 different companies compete thing. Yeah, you know what? I'd probably agree with that thesis. Yeah, I would agree with that. Because you're gonna have AI companies or AI like segments like that specialize, right? They specialize in something. Instead of being good at like everything, they're gonna specialize in something. So I definitely can see that. I mean, we see that all the time, right? Google was only a search engine, right? Their algorithm was like one of the best, and then they introduced Gmail and all these other little features. But everybody knows them as a search engine. Microsoft, you know, Windows based, you know, PCs, they focus on one thing, right? Same thing with like, I guess Apple, like they've been doing the same thing forever, as they've just been handheld devices and really, really nice computers. Like I could see like AI being segmented into different specializations. I just don't know what those specializations are. maybe photo, maybe there's AI for I don't know, AI for like, I don't want to say data because everyone, like all the AIs do good for data. I don't know, but there will be segmented AI. I could see that happening. Um, let's see what else we got. Yeah, Jay Rockwell says, yeah, they definitely accelerate AI. Or Jamie, yeah, implementation during COVID. Yep. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. When the pandemic was going on, there was a lot of new stuff coming out, a lot of new stuff, and a lot of opportunities that came out. But everyone was freaking out about, it was almost like a distraction. Look, hindsight's 2020, right? But it was almost like it was a complete distraction. The wealthier got wealthier, the richer got richer, right? The poorer got poor. I mean, it is what it is. But I think the pandemic accelerated a lot of stuff. Work from home, all that kind of stuff. Um, because it was bound to happen. And when that work from home stuff happened, a lot of innovation came out. A lot of, like now Zoom is used in everyday life, right? You have Zoom, you have Google Meets, but Zoom's probably the bigger player. And it's used almost in everyday life. It's crazy. Palantir is a good company long term. The military did invest in them, correct? From CETA. I know Palantir has a lot of government contracts, and they have a lot of they work with a lot of different alphabet agencies, i.e., CIA, FBI, probably a couple DoD agencies out there. But yeah, they're really tied into the U.S. government. Yeah, and then Jeff Wells says yes, they are one of the few companies with high level military intelligence clearance. Yep, exactly, exactly. Jeff Welch, yeah. It's a Wealthy Life says Jeff Welch. I bet Palantir will trade sideways for a while now. Well, we'll see. Yeah, it definitely was a big distraction. 100% it was a big distraction. All right, guys. So let's take a look at some yield max stuff, right? Let's just take a quick look at a yield max ETF that just came out, and this is supposed to be taking advantage of the whole AI stuff, right? I have not had a chance to really look into this, but it was just something that popped up on my feed, and I was like, I'll take a look, right? This is the standard disclaimer stuff, but one thing you could do right here, right, which actually brings me to a good point. If you wanted to take advantage of the AI, AI play AI thesis, look at the holdings of some of these ETFs, right, and see what they have. Instead of trying to find all the companies yourself, just look at the look at the companies in these holdings, right? You have C3, you have Nvidia, you have Meta, Apple, Snowflake, Palantir, Microsoft, Alphabet, Tesla, and AMD, right? I don't know if this is all of their holdings. I'd have to download it. But again, if you want to get kind of an idea of how some of the other players in the space, the fund manager, the hedge fund managers, or these types of guys who how they're playing, then look at their holdings and their ETFs that they're buying or that they're creating, right? Just look at the holdings, and then you can kind of surmise, oh, I should be putting my money into this. It looks like they're really heavy in C3. I don't even know who C3 is, but it might be worth looking into. I think that's a good a good starting place. And then everyone knows who Nvidia is at this point. Everyone knows Facebook. Everyone knows Apple. Snowflake, I haven't really looked into it. I think Warren Buffett had a huge stake in Snowflake at one point. I don't know if he still does. And then you have Palantir, Microsoft, etc. Right? But yeah, that's one. Let's see if there's any other ones. Let's go to the Global X. I think it's Global X ETF.com. Hopefully that's the right one, or else I'm going to get a virus. Nope. All right, let's do this. Global X ETF. Oh, I forgot the S. That's dumb. But anyways, let's take a look at what their AI has, what their AI ETF has. Let's see. Yeah, they got one right here. See. All right, ain't nobody got time for this. All right, boom, right here. So they looks like they got two of them. All right, this one has almost $3 billion in assets under management. So they must be doing something right, right? I think people are really starting to wise up to this, because I know I checked into this like I think last year. I think it was bots I looked at, and they did not have they did not have this much money in their ETF. So let's take a look at we'll take a look at both of them. Right, Global X. I like Global X. I like their ETFs. Their expense ratios are a little high on the high end, but you know they do have some interesting ETFs. Worth a look. See if you guys are interested. Let's see. Holdings. All right, so for holdings, for their top holdings for artificial intelligence and technology, they have Tesla, Netflix, Broadcom. Yeah, Broadcom's another one, another hardware player in the space. So maybe Broadcom might come out with something crazy, right? That we just don't know about yet. I remember like working in IT, and I'm sure some of you guys who work in IT, you know, Broadcom is you know like basically they used to make the modems for your computers. Then they made the Ethernets. You know, Ethernet cards, LAN cards, and you know, motherboards. I think they used to make motherboards. I don't know if they still do. But yeah, Broadcom's out there. ServiceNow, like, come on, man. I can't. This is basically a ticketing system. Why would this be in this freaking batch? So let's look at this real fast. The Global X Artificial Intelligence Technology ETF seeks to invest in companies that potentially stand to benefit from the further development and utilization of artificial intelligence. All right, so development and utilization of AI. Yeah, I don't know why ServiceNow in. Yeah, Cisco, another big player in the space. They have a ton of government contracts. They basically make all the switches, right? And again, when we're thinking infrastructure, right? We're thinking data centers. We're thinking racks. We're thinking the hardware, the switches. You know, Cisco Systems would absolutely, I think, in my mind, would be in there. If not Cisco, there's Juniper. There's I think I forget the other ones, but yeah, Cisco and Juniper. You have Meta. Yep, Meta's in here. Salesforce, again, I don't know. Well, I guess I could see Salesforce. Oracle's in there. Amazon. I'm surprised IBM's in here, but I guess. And look at their percentage, right? So they're really heavy on Tesla, right? Really heavy on Tesla. Let's see if we could see more. See, I don't know what Baba. I don't know why they're like NVIDIA. I think should be way up here somewhere. Whatever. But yeah, another idea, right? Another idea on how you can find some of these AI plays, you know, some of these AI companies that stand to benefit. Let's look at the robotics and artificial intelligence. All right, so the fund seeks to invest in companies that potentially stand to benefit increased adoption and utilization of robotics and artificial intelligence. All right. So let's look at their holdings. NVIDIA, of course. I don't know who this is. Yeah, I don't know who a lot of these are. Daifuku. Yeah, these look like some, I'm guessing Japanese. Yeah, these are Japanese companies. Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Here's C3. Huh. Well, the more you know, right? The more you learn. But yeah, that's man, that's crazy. That's just crazy. So yeah, there's you know, if you want to take advantage of the whole AI play, you got to look at the holdings. You got to research companies. I really think I mean, we all know this. It goes without saying that AI is going to be a big deal here in this next decade. And if you want to take advantage of it, this is the best way to take advantage of it, right? Invest in, you know, properly researched companies. And if you are too lazy to do that, then maybe you go the ETF route. But yeah, guys, I hope you got a lot of value and at least enjoyed this stream. I'm going to go to the comments now and just kind of shoot this shit with you guys and have some coffee because my throat is super dry right now. All right, so we got, yeah, Jamie said it was a big distraction referring to the pandemic, yeah. And get rid of C3. Dan, why don't you like C3? What's the reason? Aloha State of Mind, hey, welcome back. Says that all my dividend stocks did amazing today. Absolutely. I think you may have missed the earlier part, but after the whole DeepSeek thing came out, you know, the 10-year treasury went down. So I woke up to like REITs just spiking like crazy. So I woke up to some really good gains today. I was pretty happy with that. REITs are starting to recover now. So I don't know what's next for them. Broadcom took a hit today as well. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, potentially. Everything is potentially, right? Because we got to see really what the president's going to do, right? We know we already have a $500 billion commit from SoftBank, right? To basically invest money into the US economy to help back AI infrastructure. Huge deal, guys. That's freaking massive. You know, so if you want to, again, getting keeping your eyes open for opportunities as they happen, right? You don't want to be that person that says, "Oh, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna wait." You know, I did a post on this earlier, but you know, waiting to see, you know, because you might miss all the opportunities that are right in front of your face. Jeff Wells says that's the one problem with ETFs. They always have a couple dogs in there. Oh, that's a fact, man. That's a fact. Yeah, there's always like, especially in ETFs, there's always a couple dogs in there. They suck, and it's like this is why I don't like VNQ, like as a real estate index. There's a couple other, you know, ETFs out there. I don't like them. I don't know, but you're absolutely right. You know, absolutely. Jeff Welch, let's see. Far Out Alien says exactly. You look through the list, and there's always that one that jumps out. Like, why? Yeah, like I mean, I use ServiceNow, right? Which, man, I hate ServiceNow. It was easy, but it like the learning curve was kind of out there. It was hard, right? But ServiceNow is nothing more than a ticketing system, right? They do have fancy dashboards and fancy analytics. They do all this crazy crap, right? And the government, the U.S. government's adopting this as their only ticketing system, because they used to have this really archaic piece of crap called Remedy, right? Remedy Now or ITSM something, but it was a piece of trash. Like, man, this thing was dated. So ServiceNow was a welcome breath of fresh air, but I don't know why that would be included in AI. Maybe they're trying to do some things with AI that I don't know about, but yeah, it was just interesting to see ServiceNow as part of a AI ETF. I don't know. Let's see if we can find some other. Let's see if we can find some other ETFs out there. Um, let's see. So we already covered the Yield Max, covered the Global X. You know what? Let's look at ARK Innovation. It's been a while since I've seen their stuff. Let me get you guys on screen here. Get my big old head out the way. All right, so let's take a look at ARK. I don't think we're not going to look at the innovation ETF. They have their own specific AI ETF, but I'm just curious how Kathy Woods is handling this. For those who don't know, ARK Invest used to be the Wall Street darling, right? Back in 2020 and into 2021, they were like the Wall Street darling, right? They were a comeback kid. Their ETFs were exploding in popularity. Everyone who's anyone was buying ARK Innovation, right? I held it for a little while. I think it was the ARK K. I held this one in ARK Q, if I remember correctly. I held it for like a week or two, honestly, and I was like, why am I even in these? And I sold out because I don't know, something in the back of my head was like, no, get out of them. And then they ended up plunging when interest rates were rising. So, and I don't think they ever recovered. But let's see what they got. So ARQ, so autonomous tech and robotics. We'll take a look at that one. We'll take a look at that one too. Why not? I know they have an AI one. Yeah, they had the blockchain stuff. Let's see. Okay, well, I guess that's it. I thought they had more. Oh, I gotta hit this. Duh. Sorry, this is my first time, guys. Space exploration. I don't know. Whatever. We'll take a look at that because we're in AI and everything. You know, AI touches everything, so why not? All right. So, let's see. So Jeff Welch asks about Stargate. I don't know too much about Stargate other than that press release that OpenAI had released. Maybe Stargate is just going to be the culmination of every AI player, you know, kind of just collaborating on this project. It's supposed to be this massive government project. So when you talk about, you know, government 3.0, this is probably it. Let's see right here. The infrastructure will secure American leadership in AI, create hundreds of thousands of American jobs, generate massive economic benefit for the entire world. This project will not only support the reindustrialization of the United States, but also provide strategic capability to protect the national security of America and its allies. Come on. Any of you guys familiar with Prism, Project Prism? All right. let's just go down memory lane right quick. I just want to show you guys this. Hold on. Let's go here. Project Prism. All right. You guys might not know this or remember this, but Project Prism is a code name for a program under which the United States National Security Agency collects internet communications from various U.S. internet providers. Right. This is the thing, that the whole Edward Snowden thing. And basically, right, this was that project, and this is going to be this new project they're coming out. This is going to be that project, right? This is going to be government 3.0. This is how they monitor everybody. And there was actually some neat slideshows here. Yeah, they still have them, which is kind of cool. But yeah, this was actually a really, really well thought out project. Until, of course, Mr. Snowden leaked the whole thing. So whatever, is what it is. Not here to make politics, but yeah. So let's go back here. Let's take a look. Let's see if we can find some info on Stargate. Announcing the Stargate project. Oh, there's one thing on Stargate AI. Let's see what this is. Oh, that's community builder. Someone tried to get ahead of that. Someone's trying to get ahead of that. They're trying to trademark Stargate. Anyways, as part of the Stargate, Oracle and NVIDIA will closely collaborate, operate this computing system. This builds on a deep collaboration between OpenAI and NVIDIA going back to 2016 and a newer partnership between OpenAI and Oracle. Yeah. This also builds on the existing OpenAI partnership with Microsoft. OpenAI will continue to increase its consumption of Azure. So if you want, see, Microsoft, they have Azure, whereas Amazon, they have AWS, Amazon Web Services. Google, they have their Google Cloud, right? Azure has been widely adopted by the US government. So I could totally see why OpenAI Stargate is going to be hosted on Azure. I totally see it. It all makes sense, right? I'm that crazy guy that's starting to connect all those little dots, you know what I mean? I got the strings all going all over the place. Like it's funny. It's just funny to see this all like playing out. Anyways, let's go back to the ARK Innovation Fund. I don't want to turn this into a conspiracy live. Okay, so let's see at the holdings. See what they got. Right, they got Tesla, Roku, Coinbase, Roblox, Palantir, Robinhood, Shopify, Block. Ugh, why do they have Block? They should have got rid of Block. That company was cooking the books too. And why do I keep forgetting their name? Anyways, they outed them. Yeah, they outed them, and their stock price is not ever recovered. Hindenburg Research. Quick note on Hindenburg Research. Make sure you guys take a look at them. Totally worth it. It's unfortunate that they're actually closing down their shop. They're like they're one of the old guard. Like, they expose companies for all the wrongdoing that they do, right? Basically scamming shareholders. So see, this is when it was at its height and it's never recovered. Is it gonna recover? I have no idea. This was all like peak optimism. So I don't know if this will ever recover. I don't think so. Autonomous technology robotics. Let's see what these guys have. So Tesla, of course. So maybe if you want to take advantage of robotics, robotics/AI, maybe Tesla might be a good play. Of course, it's an expensive stock, and I know someone in our chat has a ton of Tesla. Dan, that's a shout out to you, sir. I don't know any of these other guys. I don't know who these people are. Palantir's in here. Amazon with their, I'm guessing with their stuff. Okay, so yeah, if you want to take advantage of some some robotics, you can take a look at these. Kratos Defense and Security. I don't know. I'd probably keep an eye on that one. I'd take a look at this one. This looks interesting. All right, we just did that one. Space exploration, innovation, intelligent devices, battery technology, 3D printing. I know they used to have an AI ETF. I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, nothing here. Nothing exciting. Well, yeah, I don't know. They used to have it. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe I'm blind. We'll take a quick look again. You know, like their stuff was interesting at the time, but I mean, then it started to seem like it was just kind of like all hype, you know, neural networks, next gen cloud, adaptive robotics. I bet you Tesla's in here. Nope, I'm wrong. Okay, well, whatever. Yep, whatever. But yep. So, yeah, that's it, guys. I mean, Jesus. Yeah, Dan has 1,400 shares of Tesla. 1,400 shares of Tesla and counting. You are the madman. Like, I much respect to you for being that concentrated. Yeah, so yep, Jeff Welch says, okay, that answers the question. There are already ETFs with all those companies. Yeah, there's several ETFs. I'm gonna try to find some other AI ETFs out there. But those were the companies that came to mind whenever like I don't know, whenever I look for stuff, I always go to Global X because I just like them. I used to own. They're the ones that came out with the popular QYLD, XYLD and RYLD. They those are the guys, right? But I always like to keep an eye on them because you just never know. I mean, maybe one day I'll be strictly in ETFs, but right now in the immediate term, no. But yeah, I do like some of their ETFs that they have there. Man, what other? I know there's a couple other AI things out there. I just don't know what. I just don't know where. My feed gets blown up whenever like AI stuff or whenever ETFs get launched. Like my feed just gets completely hammered with stuff. Let's see if we can find something. Let's see, AI ETFs. Okay. Nope, this is not. Nope, this is not what I want. AIPI ETF. Manish Chopra. What's up, man? I don't think I've ever seen you in the chat, so welcome. Let's take a look at that one. AIPI ETF. Okay, let's hop into this bad Larry. Ooh, just went blind there. Okay, all right. Got my big head over here. Okay, this is the Rex AI Equity Premium Income ETF. Oh, okay, so this is similar to that Yield Max ETF I just covered. They're basically just, yeah, making income off AI. All right, let's take a look at this one. Dude, what? Oh, that's wild. Dang, 34%. That's kind of crazy. Let's see what that expense ratio would be looking like. I don't see it. Oh, 65. That's not bad. That's actually lower than Yield Max. I mean, you're not going to get those crazy distributions, but I mean, that's lower than Yield Max. So, all right. Own a I love this. Own AI stocks, right cover calls. Easy, right? Simple. Enhanced income potential. I love it. Okay, let's see some of their holdings. Okay, here we go. So they got Palantir in there, Nvidia, CrowdStrike. Oh my God, they got CrowdStrike. That is, whew, that is funny. Arm Holdings, okay, cash and cash equivalents. Micron Technology, MU. I don't know Arista Networks, Synopsys, Qualcomm. See, Qualcomm's another one, another hardware manufacturer, similar to like Broadcom, but they're Qualcomm. You have Meta Platforms. Okay, man, this is pretty interesting. I totally forgot about these guys. Yeah, they man, that was crazy when that happened. Dan, I think you remember what happened with CrowdStrike. I think you of all people would know what happened with CrowdStrike. Basically, CrowdStrike they have like this RMM, this remote management or monitoring management software, and they pushed out this automatic like Microsoft update without testing it to millions of computers. And it brought down airlines, it brought down banks, it brought down like countries. It was crazy. It brought down so many people. and basically CrowdStrike's price just went into the gutter. Like they lost so much money, and yeah, they got sued by a bunch of people. Like it was crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. Um, but yeah, some of these companies in here, Micron Technology, yeah, I see their name pop up quite a bit. ARM Technology. So again, you could almost go with Nvidia, ARM, and Palantir and Meta, or not Meta, Microsoft, and you would have like a pretty decent, gamut of AI based companies, right? Whether they're hardware, technology, or software, right? So that's pretty cool. Hey, Manish, hope I'm pronouncing it Manish Chopra. Appreciate that. This is actually really interesting. Yeah, I might have to keep my eye on this one. This is an interesting one. Yeah, guys, we're coming up onto the top of the hour. Um, yeah, I got nothing else, man. I just wanted to talk about this whole DeepSeek AI stuff and kind of just share with you guys what I've been reading and everything else. What are you guys buying right now? Like, what's new on your guys' end? 121 holdings under AIPI. Yeah, so you get some decent diversification there. Yep. CETA says I utilize a lot of yield max funds. It depends on your entry point. That's 100%. Like, if I had some spare cash, which I should probably check if I do right now, I really do want to drop a little bit into Misty. But there's another one I'm looking at. That's it does cover calls against Bitcoin. I won't mention the ticker yet because I still have to do a little more research on it. But yeah, these are interesting, right? These are interesting times. These are interesting plays. So again, I appreciate you dropping that Rex AIPI because I didn't even know this one exists. There's so many ETF providers out there. I think there was a study done and they said that like on the year like ETF releases have been increasing year over year. Like there's so many new ETFs coming out almost every other day and new ETF providers. So again, I through the myriad of crap out there, I appreciate you dropping that. So it's a wealthy life says I'm waiting for a few more dips. I will add AMD under 110 if she drops. AMD I think would be interesting. You know what I hate about myself is that someone told me when I was brand new, like I just learned about investing in the stock market, and someone was like, "Oh, I'm long on AMD." I didn't even know what that meant, right? But this was back in 2018, I think. Yeah, 2018, right? So 2018. Oh my God. Let's see, 2018. Yeah, we'll call it right here. Like I didn't know what that meant, and if had I dropped in like 10 grand, like I would have had a 500% return. Oh man, there's so many stories like that. I wish I had, this or I wish I'd done that, but man, like I wish I knew what the heck the stock market actually was, right? Um, is what it is. Mansh Chopra says you could check YBTC. I think I looked at that one before. All right, the one I'm looking for is called Bito, BITO. I think that's the one. But that one looked the most interesting to me out of all of the ones I did look at. But I will add YBTC to my list here. Actually, let me just make a quick note. Let me make a quick note. Pen and paper, guys. Pen and paper. YBTC. Yeah. All right. Take a look at that one a little later. My entry point for yield max, I don't know, like I want to get it between 27 and 28. I think that would probably be a fair price, but I have to really look at that stuff. Sometimes whenever it comes to the ETFs, like that yield max ETF, you're absolutely 100% right. Price matters. But I'm also trying to see if it even makes sense. Like, should I even put my money in there? That's what I'm struggling with. Like I want to put money in there and just test it out, get some money, collect some dividends, that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's like if I'm going to be selling out of this thing in like 2 or 3 months, then no. But again, with the whole AI thesis and MicroStrategy being basically tied to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin having very favorable tailwinds for this next, this year and hopefully the next couple of years, maybe it makes sense just to drop your money in Misty. But again, or Beto or YBTC, right? Because that's really what I'm betting my money on is the favoritism towards, or the favorable conditions for the crypto industry. So that's really what I'm betting my money on. AI definitely sounds, I just maybe I have to find an AI ETF or something. I don't know. I really like this one. I really like the one you just dropped. AIPI, that one seems really interesting. Yeah, Sita, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I was asleep. I'm asleep. I think like I started going to sleep because I'm here in Thailand. So I go to sleep probably around 10 o'clock. I know the market opens at like 9:30 ish, but yeah, I was researching everything for today, so that buying stuff was on the last part of my mind. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll open a position here shortly. But guys, that's gonna do it for me. Unless anyone has any questions, does anyone have anything I can help with, anything like that? The best ETF is Tesla, and it has a 0% expense ratio, which is kind of nice. So Jeff Welch asks, "Do you think Bitcoin ETF would be better than Bitcoin?" Depends. I don't think it'll outperform a Bitcoin, because if the price is tied to Bitcoin, then you're gonna get a one for one. But the only drawback to the ETF version is that you're putting, like, whenever you buy the ETF, you have to pay that, you will have to pay an expense ratio, right? So why pay an expense ratio when you can just own the Bitcoin outright, right? Like if you open like a Robinhood account or M1 Finance or something and just bought Bitcoin, then you could be fine. But I think the value of the Bitcoin ETFs that are coming out, the actual like spot price Bitcoin ETFs, or things like that, like IBIT, that came from iShares. Let's take a look at iShares real fast since we're on the topic. So this is the iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF. Like, they actually own Bitcoin. Then they have the custodian with Coinbase, if I remember, and then they basically built a trust out of it. They fractionalized it, and then now you have the ETF that was born, right? So whenever you buy it, you're directly or indirectly buying into Bitcoin, but the price is basically 1-to-1. The advantage of that is, if you don't want to buy from a crypto exchange or some crypto wallet or doing all this extra stuff, then an ETF would make sense. Probably the other benefit I could see why people, because this has a ton of money in it. Let's see if we can find the actual website. I think it's like 8 billion in assets under management. Everything seems to be 8 billion these days. Let's see. Sponsor fee 25%, which is like really, really low. This is the lowest one that I found out of like the 30 of them that I looked at. This is the lowest one. The previous, like, most popular one was like 1.3% in fees. What am I looking for? So we got the fee. Oh yeah, assets under management. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank here. AUM. Oh, okay, not 8 billion, 57 billion. Okay, so this one this one would be totally worth it in my opinion. You have liquidity and you have safety. So obviously there's $57 billion worth of money in there from people who trust this thing over probably owning Bitcoin by itself. So yeah, I mean, there's something to be said there. But yeah, I like I said, I think the benefit is that you don't have to deal with like cold storage, you don't have to deal with custodians, you don't have to deal with all that other crap. Like if I was a brand new investor and I'm like, oh, I want to invest in crypto, but I don't know how to, then just go with a Bitcoin ETF. Or if you want to learn, right, you could go with Robinhood, M1 Finance, crypto.com, Binance, all that other crap, and go buy it, and submit your documents for registration, do all this other stuff, and then still have to be worried that the exchange might go bankrupt and you might lose all your money, whereas you could just go to ETF. So I guess that's something to think about. Let's see. Jeff Welch also says, not set up for crypto exchange or wallet. Thought it might be simpler to buy ETF. Which one are you looking at? iBit. Yeah, iBit. The accounting is way easier with Bitcoin ETFs. P Mott, what's up, man? Yeah, we're like finishing up the stream right now, man. But yeah, hey, welcome. We're just talking about DeepSeek AI. We're talking about AI, play the AI thesis for the next, 4 to 10 years, the next decade, basically. DeepSeek is China's version of ChatGPT. It was produced at a substantially lower cost, and yeah, now it's got all the tech companies that deal with AI kind of like scrambling to figure out what their next move is. Or they're basically just peeling apart DeepSeek. Their documentation is open source, so I'm sure they're just line by line they're looking through this thing and seeing how they can compete and continue to be better than DeepSeek. Yeah, like I used to have like a ton of Bitcoin, and I don't mean like physical, like the actual coins, but like full coins. I had a lot of fractional coins, but I ended up selling all of it and just moved it all that into freaking real estate, which I don't know. Some people would be upset about that and say that was stupid, but I don't know. Like Bitcoin is not where I'm like I'm not trying to leave money on the table, but Bitcoin is also not where I'm trying to hang my hat either. I think any prudent investor, any smart investor would definitely have some exposure to cryptocurrency. I even toyed with the idea of doing like my own version of like an index for crypto coins. And I'll share it with you guys, but basically you're taking the 10 largest crypto coins, doing a market cap weighting against them, and then just going out and buying them, right? Going out and buying them consistently and creating like your own S&P 500 index for like crypto coins. There is one that exists, but the expense ratio last time I looked back in like, I think 2022 or something was like almost 3% because it fluctuates so much and they have to keep managing it. So I was like, I'm not going to even deal with that. Like that is way too much. I could do it myself and then just not rebalance, but, adjust the market weightings probably like every 3 months or every 6 months or something like that. Cita says they own a few Bitcoin ETFs. All right, which ones do you own? Yeah, diversification equals diversification. Yep, that's a fact. Some would even say being way too diversified is actually a problem. Yeah, some people would say being too diversified is a problem, and it's always a balancing act, right? Like it's always a balancing act. Sia says I'm aggressive on Bitcoin. 40% of my portfolio, riding the wave. Let's go. 40% of your portfolio. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. That is crazy. I like you, but you're crazy, man. 40. You're just as crazy as freaking Dan. It's a wealthy life. Maybe that's the key to life. Just go all in on one asset. Like that's it. Don't think about it. Screw ETFs. Screw diverse. All in on one stock or one coin. And if you guys saw my earlier video that I posted, the whole Trump coin, maybe I should just do something like that. Just all in on one coin or all in on a stock. Yeah, I mean that could, that's actually that's a good I don't know what to call it, not an analogy, but yeah, if you own Nvidia and Microsoft, you're indirectly owning crypto. Nvidia, I would say yes. I don't know about Microsoft. I'm not sure about Microsoft, but I would agree with Nvidia. Yeah, if you own MSTR, you're basically investing in a Bitcoin. Man, it's funny how much flack I got on that video. Like, it's crazy how much flack I got for that one. But hey, it's part of the game, right? Like, it is what it is. But yeah, it's part of the game. Yeah, so that's my point, guys. It's like, if you want to, like, for the thesis, and I keep coming back to this, for the whole AI thesis and owning AI, like, just work backwards, right? You're gonna have your software companies that develop AI, right? Then you're gonna have the infrastructure, you're gonna have the data centers, you're gonna have the providers, i.e., like Azure, Microsoft. Then you're gonna have the hardware, right? You're gonna have the chips, you're gonna have the semiconductors, you're gonna have the racks, you're gonna have the servers, the hardware, and then you work your way probably even down more than that, and you can even go down to like cabling. Like, there's cell towers. These are cell tower REITs, but they have like large amounts of fiber backbone. Maybe fiber might be a play, right? Telecom companies, maybe non-REITs, but telecom companies. So again, if you want to take advantage of AI, you could do that, or just go with an ETF and then call it a day. Sita says, I own Misty, Coney, and Ybit, all yield max funds, trying to generate income, taper to less volatile ETFs. Hope it works out. Oh, then taper. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I know. Yeah, I'm familiar with the strategy. You're basically taking the income generated and then buying stable assets. I gotcha. Good old Uber. The Ubers. Yeah, Uber. I liked when Travis Kalanick was in charge of Uber, man. That dude knew how to network. He was throwing like extravagant parties in like San Francisco, inviting like, really wealthy investors, institutional or equity guys to these really lavish parties, and he was having a bunch of freaking, working people working. I'm not gonna say what, but he had a bunch of working people working these parties. Getting in good with these investors. Like, he knew how to network, and he knew how to make equity, like invest in Uber. Like, he was a crazy guy. That dude was so ahead of his time, and now he's running a new company, I think down in New York City, basically leasing space or whatever. He made some headwinds during the pandemic, because his new business model was basically leasing space to like restaurants that don't want a storefront. So like, if let's say Burger King, right? Let's say Burger King rented a like a shack, I guess. They can make all their food, right? And then everyone's going to Uber Eats, everyone's doing like home delivery, that kind of thing. So his idea was that he was going to purchase a bunch of these little spaces. Restaurants don't need a storefront because they're just focused on delivery, and then they can just deliver food from there, right? They don't need a storefront. They don't need any of that. And, they're paying substantially less in rents. So I thought it was a really interesting idea. I don't know whatever came of it. I haven't looked at it in years, but, I thought that was a really interesting idea. 15 shares of Uber at $15. Oh, no. Yeah, instead, yeah. Oh, man, that sucks. Well, it is what it is, guys. All right, gentlemen, ladies, I gotta get going. Appreciate you guys joining the live stream. Hope you guys got a lot of value. Hope you guys got some entertainment from this stuff. Um, but yeah, I don't really have anything else for you guys. Again, if you guys need anything, you guys know where to reach me, and I really appreciate you guys again. Dropping the comments, hitting that like button. Um, Again, I really do appreciate it. It really means a lot to me. But I got to get going. I got to start my day. I got to probably re-up my coffee here, and hit the gym. Got to stay healthy. Got to stay on my goals. 2025 is going to be the year, right? It's going to be the year for wealth building, getting your health back on track, all that good time. All right. So appreciate you guys. You guys all take care. All right.